Is that so? We want to realize, no? Everybody is keeping mum. Please share some thoughts.
Swamiji, we have to experience that the inner spirit is our guru.
Inner spirit is our guru. Correct. Acha. Simple. We have to realize the inner spirit, our inner spirit is the guru.
All animate and inanimate objects can also be guru.
Okay. It opens up, you know, the moment we think about, we can, everybody who is not now physically in Anandashram, they can mentally be in the ashram, they can mentally enter into the ashram. So it applies to everybody. So here Mataji wants all of us to enter our eternal being. The moment we realize that our eternal being is the Guru, I think that is the simplest way of putting it, yeah. So that means it turns back to me. I should realize the eternal happiness, eternal reality within me. Correct.
Life force.
Life force, awareness, intelligence, to begin with. Then we can say creativity, existence, love, compassion,
dedication.
All these things slowly to come. To start with love, life, awareness, intelligence. That will help us to know the eternal reality within us. So unknowingly, why we are hesitant to do it. We are not aware, but unknowingly, according to Mataji, it is the me and mind that is feeling insecure. No? The moment I start traveling towards the eternal reality in me, the resistance comes from the me and mind, about which we are not aware. Because its very existence is questioned, you know. Anyway, we will leave it. It's a point on which we have to do. I think somewhere we have got it now, that we have to realize that the eternal reality is our Guru. To a very great extent, that will help us. While chanting Ramnam, suppose we bring that, it will help us. If anything comes in our journey, that also we will try. So from there, we move to this third chapter. So first chapter talks about
Needs to become a sadhaka.
There was sadhaka and devotee. From devotee, we have to become sadhaka. It should not be lukewarm. It should be heroic. We try, we try. As and when we use the cycle, we always remember the cycle tube, cycle tire. So it always gets, immediately we go and then do the pumping, What do you call that? Inflator. Inflator. every now and then. Because why will we are on the cycle, we will know whether the air is sufficient. Suppose the bobbling is there, we will immediately go to the we will be carrying, yes, we will be carrying a small pump, and then we put it there 3-4 times we do that, and then again we go. At our home also we will keep, and also the place where we used to keep. Like that, we have to keep it aflame, no? That is necessary, because we are not full-timers. So heroic spirit. And then the next point is that we should be vigilant, we should be alert, we should have control over mind. If we allow the mind to go on the sense field, sense objects, then we will not be able to keep up the same speed of our sadhana. And then what else in the first?
Link yourself, divine author. Link yourself with the divine
Link
author.
yourself with the divine author of your being. That is a very important point. Link yourself with the divine author of your being. Because every time when I fail, I must immediately think that I have lost the contact. I am trying to remember, but again I forget. So that's also a very important point. Then the 4 steps.
Nearness, presence, everywhere about us, and realize in oneness.
Some fair idea about sadhana. Then we must try that, whether we are moving toward this 4.
Yes,
And the obstacles are self-centeredness, the strength of our puny intellect, and the path suggested, remembering him through chanting of his name and prayer, and meditating on it, and also dedicating all our action. In simple way, Namdhyan Seva has been put. Remembering him through chanting, dedicating all our activities during the non-chanting period, and then prayer is very important, and then inward journey. But for a little dispassion is necessary. We have to impose certain self-imposed disciplines and withdraw ourselves from the usual field of thinking and acting. Anything else?
The obstacles in the way of the sadhaka are self-centeredness, reliance on his own, unity, wisdom, dependence upon the perishable and impotent objects of life, depriving of divine care and protection, likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices, set up a thick wall on his path, suspicion, distress, and sensitiveness, keeping always on the rack, giving him no rest and peace. Should fling himself into the infinite life. The individual sense must merge in the consciousness. So these are all don'ts. Likewise, do's and don'ts. To have the realization. Continue. So the path is repetition of God's name and meditation, surrender of all our actions.
Just like 2-3 days back we said, we don't run after any theories, we come down to the practical side.
Practical.
So practical side, what we have...
When you know the theory only, we can be practical.
What we have found is now is, in spite of reading and everything, each one isolates oneself from the rest under some banner. Not that we want to be away, but it happens. It happens that one isolates, unknowingly isolates. So that is the biggest hurdle. Everywhere. When people come and share their problem with us, what we have found at the family level, professional level, and social level, though everybody is doing for everybody, still in their mind there is a compartment.
Setback.
So we should become aware of this. We are not open, unknowingly. Not that we want to hush anything, but this nature happens. We have seen many in all these three tiers of life.
Yes.
And that leads to communication gap, lack of understanding. It happens everywhere. We have to be alert about this, unknowingly. We may be honest in our work, sincere in our work, but at the same time, I feel my rights and wrongs are to be accepted. And more so in nowadays, it might be less, but we have seen the generation gap also, no? To go along with the elders, to go along with the youngsters. So when we try to become a sadhaka, all the residues, unknowingly it influences us. Every day we almost get 3 or 4 or 2 or 3. They want to leave everything and join the ashram. What does it signify? Shraddha has kept a separate file. Suppose we go through that, you will be stunned. More than 100 or 150 now, 1,000 must be there. What does it show? That means not syncing, not aligning with the setup. That is the rudimentary problem, fundamental problem. So when we are discussing all these things, we should keep it in our mind. It will have its own influence on us also, It is portrayed through somebody, that's all. When Papa wants so many people to write to us, somebody nowadays started saying volunteering. And when we tell them you come there and stay for 10 days and see for yourself whether you get your answers, mostly they don't come back. Anyway, that is okay. But why it is sent to us? As a sadhaka, I look at it that way, not blaming them. I look at it that way, it is a reflection. It's a reflection of our own. We are trying, to get an answer for this. Simply replying is not the right way, but we are clueless when they write. So those are all, making us to think. The conflict, in the internal conflict everybody is having in all these three tiers of life. Same thing we have in ashram also. Unknowingly, unwittingly. Not that anybody means anything bad, but this will all affect our sadhana. So when we try, we are trying to understand, When we say clueless, we never feel satisfied by sending that reply. Because Mataji's words come back again and again. We have solved our problem. What about their problem? Standing from their standpoint, have we been able to? Why are they contacting us? They feel that they will get some soothing reply, soothing answer for their pressing problem. But we are unable to do that. Some, of course, they come. Anyway, that shows the pulse of the people now, pulse of the people who are passing through this stress. And it will have its own. Some effect will be there, in us also.
Solace to the mind. Solace to the mind. Yes.
So when we discuss, it should be practically possible for everyone,
Yes.
It's not a tall order we are trying to memorize. In our life, as well as in the life of people with whom God makes us to come in contact with. This is a matter on which we have to do a lot of manana. We may not be able to get a clear-cut idea now, but Papa is making us to deeply think. At the moment, we are unable to move forward, accepting this. You come here, stay for 10 days, and check up for yourself whether you get your answers. But we are not comfortable, because if it is yielding the result, then we can say yes. If it is not yielding the result, then that means what more fine-tuning is necessary from our end. Papa used to say, while chanting Ram Nam, we should attune ourselves with his will. Every time this has to come in our mind, Are we trying as a sadhaka in our spiritual journey, are we trying to sync with, aligning with his will, or holding on to our will? In whatever form it takes. Those of you who are listening, you may have your own experience in different fields. Kindly think about it. Through that experience, God must have taught you so many things. You can share that. The bedrock of our conflicts. Why we remember this just now is that the obstacles in the way of the sadhaka are self-centeredness, reliance on his puny strength and wisdom, his dependence upon the perishable and impotent objects of life deprives him of divine care and protection. His likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. Suspicion, distrust, sensitiveness keep him always on the rack, give him no rest and peace. He should fling himself into the infinite life. His individual sense must merge in the cosmic spirit. This is what Papa has written in this particular chapter. That is why we remember all these things. So as a sadhaka, this we have to keep on bringing this. Please sit down. Why is that? There is a UPS here, no? UPS is here.
But I think it's not connected to this one.
You can
It's
ask.
coming from office.
She knows. It is there. I saw the. So night also, whenever the light goes, it can be connected so that this can be averted. No? You can ask Shinoj. Obstacles in the way of the sadhaka are self-centeredness, reliance on his puny strength. No. So why we were prompted to think on all these aspects, because of this particular para written.
One minute. Yes,
You
now
put
there
down
is.
the mic is muted.
Okay, it's
Right?
now unmuted.
Okay. The obstacles in the way of the sadhaka are self-centeredness, reliance on his puny strength and wisdom, his dependence upon the perishable and impotent objects of life, deprives him of divine care and protection. His likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. Suspicion, distrust, and sensitiveness keep him always on the rack, giving him no rest and peace. He should fling himself into the infinite life. His individual sense must merge in the cosmic spirit. That is why we remembered all of us are facing this problem, no? So to become aware of our problem is the first step. At least Papa has made us to become aware of our problem. Unknowingly, all these things come and stand before us. That is why our spiritual progress is not to the extent to which it should be. The harrowing pairs of opposites, good and bad, happiness and sorrow, right and wrong, have their way to let the mind keep oscillating. Therefore, it is stressed that the need for a sadhaka is to take his stand on the infinite reality, as that alone would keep him centered in the sadhana. Very difficult. The means to overcome this is, instead of allowing ourselves to be upset by the change in transient, to fix our mind upon the deathless, formless, eternal truth. This is done only by stilling the mind, quitting of all waves of thought that trouble it. The path is the repetition of God's name in meditation and the surrender of all our actions to God. This is how the first chapter comes to a close. It makes us to introspect, you know. Why are we not progressing? No?
Yes.
So how do I get over? Need not mention. Let us try. You know, each one knows one's stock. We will again read that the obstacles in the way of the sadhaka are self-centeredness, reliance on his puny strength and wisdom, his dependence upon the perishable and impotent objects of life deprives him of divine care and protection. This is a very important word.
Self-centeredness, சமத்துவ பாவம் இருக்காது இல்லையா?
ஆദ്യം எனக்கு
எடுத்து பார்த்தோம்னா
ഞാനും എന്നോട് No, we were just comparing to Mataji's administrative approach and the approach we are now following, you know. When there was no flow of money, even then that did not stop Mataji from entering into many activities. Because her reliance not on the perishable transient things, her reliance on God. He is prompting, He has to bring it. No?
So many things. Miracles. Great soul.
His dependence upon the perishable and impotent objects of life deprives him of divine care and protection. They won't get it now?
No. are getting it.
Deprives him of the divine care and protection. No? If I start thinking that I must preserve something, then only I can do in the ashram, then that means I am becoming, I am not becoming, what do you call it? I am sidelining, no, the divine care and protection. When this was not there, the divine care was taking place, The divine care and protection was taken care of. Mataji's life alone, then we know miles and miles and miles and miles are we away.
ரூமுக்கு அறிக்கை லைட்டை கொண்டு வருவாங்க சுவாமி. வந்துட்டு எல்லாம் பார்த்து எல்லாருக்கும் இருக்கான்னு கேட்டு போவாங்க. அது வேற என்கொயரி.
We had shared that incident which Puja Swamiji shared with us when Mataji wanted to repair a house very near to ashram. Swamiji was asked to go and see what is the condition. So Swamiji went and looked at it and reported. And then before taking it up, it was referred to Papa. Then no money is coming, okay. But then, even then, both of them, they are fully under divine care and protection. Still, Papa said, you can go up to 8,000 rupees. 8,000 means today is 8 lakhs or 80 lakhs. Yeah, 80 lakhs. So then Mataji said, you carry on. So every now and then they will report to Mataji, and Mataji was meeting the demand. Swamiji was making a note because Papa had told. So when it exceeded 8,000, he reported to Mataji. Mataji said, keep quiet, complete it. Ultimately, it came to 12,000 or 13,000 on those days. And then Papa asked Swamiji, how much did we spend? He said, I told you, not to spend more than 8 years. I reported it to Mataji. Mataji said, we have started, we have to complete. She was not bothered about the incoming, She was totally aligning with the need. And she knew God has prompted her to commit. And the onus or responsibility is on him. When we were discussing about our Gujarat project and everything, Swamiji used to share this, We don't have that. Mataji alone can take that decision like that. Because that irrefutable, there is no rational background behind it. In our case, there is a logical, rational background is there. How will I manage if I commit? No, this is rational. But to her, it was no such thing. So that is why he has written, Papa says, his dependence upon the perishable and impotent objects of life deprives him of divine care and protection.
Correct. Resignation means.
We should be very clear, we are on the spiritual path. We should never think that, now only see, we are nowhere near, She was leading a simple life, that we can understand. Contented life, that is also we can. She never demanded anything, that is all right. But when she was handling the so-called affairs also, there was not a dilution,
Yes.
Because the divine care and protection is a wonderful word. To become aware of the divine care and protection. Another incident is that pujaris when they performed some homa here, and at the time of leaving, Mataji asked Puja Swamiji, what is your bank balance? Swamiji was reluctant to express because there is a lot of creditors list here. So Swamiji was calculating and keeping that to clear off. So he said, yeah, I will bring, but some bills are also to be cleared. I did not ask about the bills. What I wanted was the balance. Then Swamiji said, no choice, updated from the bank, and it was 85,000 rupees on that day. That must have been in mid-70s. 85,000 is a big amount. Mataji asked him to withdraw 60 or 70,000 rupees. And to all these 13 or 14 people, 5,000 rupees each you put and then give. Mataji was not bothered, how to clear the liabilities, all those things. And Swamiji says, when they got them, they got stunned. In their whole lifetime, they have not received like this. So they came and asked whether there was any mistake. Then Swamiji said, Mataji is not happy. She was telling that we should have been giving more. So that is Mataji. No, when Papa says, nobody can understand Mataji, no. It is difficult to understand with our limited intellect. How his words are, no? How his mind is working, nobody can understand. Ramdas can understand to some extent, that's what he says. Because always, hands to give only, mind to think only about. Anyway, what makes us to think now is his dependence upon the perishable and impotent objects of life deprives him of divine care and protection. So as a sadhaka, I should now and then remind myself, about the divine care and protection that is always before me and proved, verified by our own masters. It is not a theory. To what extent I am able to live up to it. In the personal life, probably we may would have gone to some extent in that line. But when we handle, to what extent? Suspicion, distrust, his likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. His likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. I become an island without knowing that I am becoming an island. My rights and wrongs carve out a constituency for my own, no? Which fact I am not aware, but I will not go beyond that. And the final word is very live. He should fling himself into the infinite life. Here we all say we have not been able to do that. He should fling himself into
the direction for us.
The individual sense must merge in the cosmic spirit. This will help us in adding a prayer while chanting Ramnam. Surely it will help us. When are you going to make me to fling myself? To depend wholly, solely on you. Not on anything that you made me to feel that my wisdom, my expertise, my skill, my efficiency, You gave it to me for certain purpose, I agree, and I am doing it. But it has its way on my all dealings, without knowing that it is for a certain purpose you have given me. The skill or the expertise or the excellence or whatever you call it. It has been given to me for successfully handling your mission in regard to others. But I have allowed it to enter into my own life. Meaning, forgetting of you, God's. Is it clear? He has given me all the expertise so far, whatever He makes me to feel, I can handle by myself. That is for handling God's job, God's mission through me. But as I've been successful also to some extent. But unknowingly, it has entered into my very personal one, sadhana. That is why I am not gelling with. I am unable to fling myself. Very, very subjective, very, very subjective. First he said, reliance on his own puny strength and wisdom. His likes and dislikes, favors and prejudices set up a thick wall on his path. He should fling himself into the infinite life. Something for all of us to think very deeply, This is still in the first chapter. The harrowing pairs of opposites have their way to let the mind keep oscillating. Therefore, it is stressed that the need for a sadhaka is to take his stand on the infinite reality, not on my puny sense of individuality. As that alone would keep him centered in the sadhana. The means to overcome this is, instead of allowing ourselves to be upset by the change in the transient, to fix our mind upon the deathless, formless, eternal truth. This is done only by stilling the mind, quitting of all waves of thoughts that trouble it. Path is the repetition of God's name in meditation and the surrender of all our actions to God. So while chanting the name, all these things weigh in our mind, kindly enable me to overcome this. Even in a minutest sense, the sense of individuality should not. Sense of individuality, this is very clear now. Sense of individuality has been given to us to work out His will through us. For the various fields He has created. We need a sense of individuality. But that sense of individuality should not pose as a block in knowing Him, realizing Him, in making us aware of that His mission we are doing it. So in our case, probably what happens is the sense of individuality which has been given by Him for this mission, we have forgotten about it, we are unaware of it, and it is stepping into my whole life, making me unaware of the super boss. Please think over. We have to look back our own life. That is the proof, so that we will realize. Every word of Papa, when we go deep into it and tallying it with our own life, it becomes very clear to us. So that it doesn't become an intellectual exercise, it becomes really an introspection, self-evaluation. When we evaluate ourselves, there is a chance that we will improve. We'll again read, the harrowing pairs of opposites, good and bad, happiness and sorrows, rights and wrong, etc., have their way to let the mind keep oscillating. Therefore, it is stressed that the need for a sadhaka is to take his stand on the infinite reality. He has deputed me, I should not start from me, I should start from him, Papa. I should not start from me, but I should start from him. I am only a power of attorney agent. He has assigned the power of attorney to me for a particular mission. So that is why he says, sadhaka is to take his stand on the infinite reality, as that alone would keep him centered in the sadhana. The means to overcome this is, instead of allowing ourselves to be upset by the change in the transient, to fix our mind upon the deathless, formless, eternal truth. This is done only by stilling the mind. To make me aware that God has assigned me this sense of individuality, He has given me the sense of individuality and assigned its role. That means I should start from Him, not from me. That can be done only by stilling the mind, because otherwise the mind is interpreting, mind is the expression of the sense of individuality. So we have to go past the mind, To start from Him, we have to go past the mind. Yeah, very nice. Papa's words are... So this is done only by stilling the mind, quitting of all ways of thought that trouble it. And the path is the repetition of God's name in meditation and the surrender of all our actions to God. In one reading, two reading, three reading, we may not be able to catch the theme behind the writing. This is done only by stilling the mind. So the first chapter highlights about the importance of the becoming sadhaka, and sadhaka means what all? Papa directly answers this question. And finally now, we may not be able to remember all words, but 2-3 things can be remembered. That is why he said, unless we link our life with the divine author of our being, our life becomes in vain. It has been elaborated here. Linking ourselves is a must now. Otherwise, I stand from me and mine level. The me and mine level has been given to me by Him for working out His will through us. If we don't become aware of that, we will not be able to progress on the spiritual path. Spiritual path means becoming aware of His presence. So for that, we have to still the mind. To still the mind, we have to control the mind. So for that, Two things have been given here. One is chanting the name to remember him. And stilling the mind by concentrating on the sound.
Stilling the mind means actually shutting off the negatives and owning the positive stuff.
No, stilling the mind means stilling the mind, that's all. Stopping all thoughts.
No thoughts.
All thoughts.
No thoughts.
So at this level it may be difficult for us to understand, because we are trying to understand it with the help of thoughts. So it is purely an experiential realm. So we try to chant, we try to hear the sound, and then try to go where from the sound comes. That's all. Beyond that it can't be explained, because that is an area where the thought cannot interpret. It is not something that is knowable. Only a knowable thing can be put in words. At best we can say stilling the thoughts. So that means Papa wants every sadhaka to concentrate upon this aspect. If we have to start everything from him, we must have a glimpse of his experience, his presence in us. He is with us, he has been with us, we are not aware. Because with the tools he has given, unknowingly, we don't know that he has given. So we thought we are the starting point. So when we try to trace our sources, we come to realize that it is he who has given everything, and therefore I should not use that to know him. When I was a seed in my mother's womb, this was not there. When I was in the mother's womb, in 9.5 months, this was not there. When I came out, this was not there. The care and concern, I did not bother about me and mine at all. Only after a certain age, certain time, slowly it started entering into me, and which make me to feel that I am the doer, I am the planner, I have to secure myself, I have to safeguard myself, I have to preserve something for me, for my rainy days. All these things came only later. Perfectly okay. When we were given a sense of individuality, nothing wrong in doing it. But what we find is, we were not aware that it was given to us by him. And after a long journey, now when we are told by our master, we can only intellectually understand, but tough job to make it a reality. This is the stage in which all of us are passing through. We are all thoroughly convinced. So now Papa is opening up before us the hurdles. And he says, fling yourself. And he says, this is done only by stilling the mind, quitting of all waves of thought that trouble it. Path is the repetition of God's name in meditation and the surrender of all our actions to God. Enough food for our thought. All these things can be verified by going through our own life lived so far. We don't need any other book. and the lives of our saints. And then we pray to him. Somehow you step in and remove it. By myself, I find it difficult to remove. We were remembering one incident. There was a beehive in Wayanad. Normally in a state where we don't trouble it at all, we make it a point that nobody should go near it. Unknowingly they should not disturb the beehive. But somebody, they were carrying a pole or something like that, It somehow touched the beehive. Entire beehive started coming, attacking him. No other go. Immediately Jane said, bring them bread, kambli, everything. And we threw it on him. That was the only way we could do. He might be struggling for his breath also. Otherwise, the entire thing will come and attack. And then he was saved. Of course, he had fever for 2-3 days, lot of swelling. So the one thing we did was to throw, to throw a blanket, a bed, big mattresses, because it will again penetrate and strike. Nobody can go near. And somehow they identify who was responsible for disturbing, and they will all concentrate, In spite of the fact that in our estate we don't disturb them at all, we don't take any honey. After they take it and go elsewhere, then only we take the beehive. It will be left alone. Beautiful beehive. Never we do directly or indirectly harm anything. In spite of that, when somebody unknowingly did it. So similarly, unknowingly we may also commit all these things. So we have to impose something very, very harsh. What is to be done, each one of us has to think about it. Our puny strength, our puny wisdom will not help. Because the beast outside means the powerful sense of individuality with its firm decisions, rights and wrongs, that will prevent us from knowing the original. So this is something on which we have to keep on thinking, and not somebody's life, our own life. Each one has to put our own life. So far, we are trying to watch others' life and pass judgments as if we are free from all these things. Now we have to watch ourselves silently. Nobody need know about it. And then we can, which are the areas where I should now improve to qualify myself as a sadhaka. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Swamiji, Swamiji, I want to ask you one thing. Sometimes you are able to feel the presence acutely, very sharply. But most of the
Sometimes
time
we will be able to feel the presence acutely. Very, but sometimes. Yes, Padmaji.
But
yeah, only sometimes.
So only sometimes.
oscillating.
Yes, Swamiji. At times when we are not even prepared, suddenly the presence is felt and it brings tears to the eyes. And then we are back to our own field, our own world.
That we have to take it as Sadhaka, that he wants to assure us he is with us. He is with us, he has been with us. So we need not feel dejected or desperate, but we should concentrate, We should do something to stabilize, get stabilized. Glimpses he is giving. And from unknown, unplanned sector, something comes to us, saves us. But we attribute it to, not to him, attribute to the transient factors. Suppose I have come and helped him. You will say Bhutananda has come and helped him. Then we are missing the evidence. God made him to come and help me. So that is why he said from the transient to the intransient we have to move. His presence is always there. His help is always there. His support is always there. But we are not aware. We are attributing to persons, objects, and situations. So how should we keep the balance? Everyone has to work out. A lot of it's a food for thought. Namaskaram. Hariyo.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskaram.
Pranam.
Appa.
Hariom.